Okay, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back. So, Claressa Shields versus Cameron. Right? I'm a bit late on this one, but you know what they say, better late than never. Those of you that have been listening to my channel for a little amount of time, the old channel and this new channel, will know that Claressa Shields is not my favourite person. Right? She's not my favourite female boxer either. And I do not see her as the GOAT. Self-proclaimed anyway. Look, Cameron, this is what's happened anyway. I'm sure you guys know, but I'm just going to give my opinion. Cameron was reading some cue cards, right? The cue cards, one of the cue cards said that Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano was the most viewed women's fight in history, right? He came out and said it. Claressa Shields, knowing, she's a very, how can I say, she's got a very, very high opinion of herself, which is not a bad thing. You know, it's good to be, to think good of yourself, especially in a sport like boxing, being a woman as well. You've got to try and push yourself up there and that. But, some of the methods and some of Claressa's actions and her mannerisms seem to rub a lot of people the wrong way, right? I would say 70 to 80% of her fan base are men, right? And I think they're mostly weak men, simps, who simp for this woman, and can't see the errors of her ways. Because I've pointed out many times on this channel about how Claressa Shields goes on, her actions, the way she talks about certain people, she's a bit of a narcissist in some way, It's all about her really, innit? You got like Amanda Serrano always trying to uplift women's boxing, and so do most of the other women fighters. Most of the time they're trying to uplift women's boxing, where Claressa, it just seems like she's in it for herself. She's looking for accolades for herself. You know what I mean? What she's done. She's not interested in how women's boxing is grown so much, whatever. She's not an ambassador for women's boxing. She's an ambassador for herself. So she comes across, I would say, a bit selfish at times. Somewhat of slightly of a narcissist. So anyway, she private messages Cameron. She slides into Cameron's DMs, yeah? Slithers. She slithers into Cameron's DMs. You got to remember now, Claressa's always coming again, why I can't get a man? Why I can't get a man? I'm looking for a fine man. Right? So we know Claressa Shields, she's thirsty now. She wants a man, right? She tried it with Anthony Joshua a few years back, but Joshua's not interested, okay? But she slid into Cameron's DMs. And said to Cameron, she said, listen, Cam, you've got it wrong, right? Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor is not the most viewed women's fight. I'm the most viewed women's fight with 2 million fights. Me and, what's her name, Savannah Marshall in the UK. Right, I'm going to break this down now. First off, the fight was in the UK, right? It did a record number of pay-per-view buys for an all-women's event. Great, that's good for boxing, great for women's boxing as well. The main event was Savannah Marshall versus Claressa Shields. Claressa Shields is taking all the accolades for that fight when it was not in her home country, it was in the UK. So what you got to understand is the 2 million people that tuned in to watch that were not Claressa Shields fans. Yeah, I believe the majority of them were Savannah Marshall and UK boxing fans who just wanted to watch an all-women's event. Some men like that sort of thing, you know what I mean? An all-women's boxing event might turn some men on, So the fight was not in America. It wasn't in Flint, Michigan, where Claressa's from. Claressa can't sell out a hair salon in her own town. But she comes to UK, does 2.2 million, because of Savannah Marshall and because of the love of boxing from the UK fans. She doesn't want to state that. She's trying to take it all for herself. I'm the most women's boxer. No, it's not you, Claressa. It's you and Savannah Marshall. And I would say that Savannah Marshall would probably take a third of that. Where I don't think you've really brought much to the table. It proves a country of 250 million and you can't sell out a salon in your hometown. But you come to a country with 60 million, 60, 70 million, and you do 2.2 million pay-per-view buys. Work it out for yourself, right? It's not her record, it's their record, right? So Claressa Shields' attitude is just like, do I need to go on about it? That's probably the reason why she can't find a man. And she finds these simps, that she goes out of these simps, And then eventually she dominates them, and then she's like, can't bother this simp. I need to find myself a new man. You know what I mean? So look, Cameron, he basically said, look, I don't know what's going on. He's not too adverse in boxing. He said, look, you need to get yourself up because these women did 50 million and whatever. And she got mad. She got in her feelings, you know. But I believe, I listened to what Cameron said the other day. They had a little bit of a back and forth talking. She must have offered him out. She said, and he said, well, from what I can see, you've only got 3 knockouts in like 15 or something fights. And she's like, yeah, you want to be the 4th? And he's like, whoa, slow down. The last time you got in the ring with a man to spar, yeah, a guy that was 6-1 and got knocked out by Rolly Marrero, he put you on your ass. And then you ran out of the ring, ran out to get to your car to go and get a knife. Yeah? What are you talking about? Just chill out. Calm down, Claressa. Calm down. Yeah? So anyway, she's obviously pissed off that she got exposed by a camera. So she come on a little live stream with a few of her simp. Like, if you listen to it, these guys are simps. Absolutely simping for, yeah, Claressa, man, you know, yeah, Claressa, because you done this, man, and you done that. How are they talking about you? You know, you get a lot of those guys over, I'm sorry, you get a lot of those guys over in the States, and they're simps. Absolute simping for her, man. They want to live in her flipping, in her G-string. Man, they want to suck Claressa's toes. So anyway, so look, she then comes on and starts to call Cameron a hater. Cameron hates black women. He's always putting black women down. I'm like, come on, what are you talking about? The man doesn't agree with what your statement. He disagreed. Just leave it as that. I don't even know what you're trying to slide in the man's DMs for anyway, right? But look, anyway, look, I'm not gonna go much more about this, but I'm just gonna say it like this. This is my opinion, right? And this is what I think it is. Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano, for me, stands as the most viewed, the most watched women's boxing match, right? Let's look at it logically. Whether they were there for Mike Tyson and Jake Paul or not, 50 million people viewed that fight. So it is the most viewed women's boxing match ever, right? Single match, the most viewed single fight ever. It don't matter if they were there for Jake Paul or for Mike Tyson. Those 50 million people might have been there for those two, yeah? But they watched Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor. And probably most of them were entertained by that fight because that was the best fight on the card. Okay? That could have been a main event, but it wasn't. But still, 50 million people viewed it. Claressa Shields versus Savannah Marshall, 2.2 million pay-per-view sellout. All right, it's a massive difference now. We're talking like 47.8 million difference, right, in the people that viewed the fight, right? But I would say, if you have to put them in categories, Claressa Shields versus Savannah Marshall was the most viewed all-women's event, right? All-women's boxing event. I don't know how many of them there's been. That's the only one that I can really think of or I really know, but that is the most viewed all-women's event. All women, like, so it was an all-women's card, the most viewed all-women's event, where Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor was the most viewed women's boxing match. It don't matter if Jake Paul, Mike Tyson were the main event. 50 million people still watched that fight. That's all I'm going to say to you. Now, if they're going to have a rematch or a trilogy, Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor, which I think they should, given the circumstances of that fight, go and look at my other video. I made a breakdown of that. Katie Taylor is the dirtiest fighter ever, right? The Billy Goat. The Billy Goat. She must be an Aries or something, star sign. I don't know what it is, man, whatever. But listen, they got to have that trilogy. And after 50 million people watched Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson and saw that on the undercard, let's see how many people turn up to watch that trilogy. And do you know what they should do? They should make it an all-women's event. Claressa, how you feel about fighting on their undercard? Anyway, look, enough said. Smash the like button, hit the bell for notifications to get all the new latest videos.